White folks, we are the problem. We're the problem. We're the problem. Our refusal to honestly deal with our history of hatred, racism, genocide is a problem. Our inability to see where the unhealthiness of our culture is the problem. Our inability to see how racism and Christianity all tied up in together is the problem. And the biggest problem is that we do not see we are the problem. God bless everyone. Have a beautiful afternoon.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now I want to give credit to the original creators of the clips in this video, and of course thank you guys for always supporting the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation in the comments, because I really want to hear what you have to say about this.
Every economic problem that we're facing in this country right now, student loan debt being just out of control, the government shutdown, SNAP benefits being cut, health insurance premiums about to go through the roof, your rent going up, your pay stagnating, groceries just being astronomical, is because reparations were never paid after the Civil War. Let me explain. After the Civil War, the Union, the North won and the South was defeated, but the South was never punished. The Confederacy lived on in the ideology of the people, of the white people of the South. Reparations were never paid to Black Americans. They were never really truly given the opportunity to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, to rise up and become equal members of this country, equal citizens. They've been fighting for their equality since then. They've never actually truly achieved it. So when white people hear a promise from Donald Trump et al. That we're going to run the country like a business, to them that sounds appealing. They're like, oh yeah, because you know what? I'm a business owner. I own this country because I'm white. When Black and brown people hear, well, we're going to run the country, run the government like a business, they understand what that means because they've been dealing with it for centuries. White people think that they are on the side of the owners, the masters, but they're not. Most white people have more in common with the Black and brown people that they look down upon. They are closer to them in the economic tax bracket than they are to the white billionaires whose asses they kiss. But listen to them glazing billionaires, especially on this app. I make $50,000 a year, but I have more in common with Jeff Bezos than I do with George Floyd. Bullshit! The only reason the lie of let's run this country like a business appealed to you is because you thought you would benefit. And now here you are. Now here you are understanding that when they say we're going to run this country like a business, that means they're going to profit off of your ass. That means that if you take $100,000 loan out to go to college, you will be in debt to the federal government until the day you fucking die. You borrowed 100 grand, prepare to repay 300 grand because they're running the government like a business now. And guess what? You're a customer, not an owner. The government exists to serve us, not to profit off of us. And we will continue to have these problems.
You know, with everything going on right now, you'd almost think that like America was cursed or something, you know? Like it's feeling like it was built on like some ancient Indian burial ground or like, wait a minute.
So Black people are taking white jobs. China gave us the China virus. Haitians are eating pets. Puerto Rico's a floating island of garbage. What the fuck are white people besides Gigant to tell you that white people are the fucking problem? We've always been the problem and we're always going to be the problem. I am not one of those fucking pick-me girls, okay? I am on all the marginalized groups' side. I will say fuck the patriarchy to anyone who will listen. This right here, this Donald Trump presidency for 2024, white. So it's, we let all of our black and brown and gay and lady friends, we let everyone down. Yep. You can only blame you, white people. And I'm trying to make this video so it doesn't come down because you are the fucking racists in this country. Yep. I mean, you are the ones that called every marginalized group a slur, not the other side.
And you know, that's fine. Y'all can be mad at what I'm saying. Y'all can cuss me out in the comments. Y'all can do whatever you want. I don't care. Because it would be different if I was lying. If I was just up here telling some bullshit. If I'm just up here just making up this 2-bit ass story to appease the peoples out there in TikTok world. But I'm not. This shit is factual. Y'all ask us all the time, hey buddy, why are you so violent? Why are you so angry? Black people are so angry. Bitch, look what the fuck y'all did to us. And we still try to pray for y'all and still try to be nice to y'all and love everybody equally. You know, they told you to love a person how you want to be loved, right? It's not working. You know, it's not working. So now we're pissed. And y'all want us to fix some shit that it's not our problem. And we're minding our business. But y'all keep want to put these little side remarks out here. These little side chomps. And it just, it got me. Y'all the reason we mad. Y'all the reason we violent. It's you. I wonder if that's why Uncle Sam did that. It's you. You dumb motherfucker. Y'all the reason why we angry and violent. I mean, y'all just woke up one day and said, hey, we ready to torture the fuck out of these dark chocolate people. We are getting ready to, ooh, you see them people over there on that island? Well, let's go on over there. I bet you I can take them home, make them clean my kitchen. Make them change out my slop pan. Make them till my garden. Look at them. You know what? We can beat them. They'll do what we tell them then. Like a horse. Yeah, like a horse. Beat their ass. Make them do what we want to. Well, I killed mine last week. You did? Did you get in trouble? No. That's the conversations y'all had. Y'all came after us, but didn't want to tell us to leave. Bitch, where we gonna go? Y'all went to every fucking... Y'all was some island hopping hoes. Y'all went to every freaking island looking for niggas. We don't know where we from. Shit, y'all lying about Antarctica. Y'all lying about space. Nigga, we don't really know. And then these niggas over here, overseas, is showing pictures of black Jesuses and shit. Nigga, we don't trust y'all neither. Oh, y'all better be glad all the black people don't rise up and go off. Woo! What she say? I could have freed many more if they would have just known that they were slaves.
This is why people don't trust white people, because it is peak whiteness and colonizer behavior to demand civility for a man who denies others their humanity. That's the oppressor, and we do not need to sympathize or empathize with them. And don't get me wrong, because I long for a world where there is no violence in it. But until all of us are free, none of us are free. And violence is part of the equation because of the oppressor, not the oppressed. We need to understand that violence comes in many forms, and white people need to learn it most of all. And if none of that is enough to convince you, then how about the fact that Charlie Kirk said empathy is a made-up new age word that does harm, and that is the one directive of his that I am willing to honor.
Whites are the problem in America. You guys are the issue. You guys, you people.
We're trying to get better.
Clump? Whitey?
My stance on it is whatever Will Compton decides, I think we go with as the former Washington Red.
Every global crisis somehow ends up with the same people getting richer and the rest of us getting a little bit quieter. Using disaster to push profit. War, debt, consumerism, culture. It's a masterpiece of manipulation. Mostly signed off by the same demographic that just swear the hard-working businessmen. You see, it's not about hating white men or having a problem. It's about recognising who wrote the rules of this game and who keeps pretending that it's fair. And every time someone says, "What's your problem with white men?" to me, it just proves how well the spell still works. So I'll tell you exactly what I've got a problem with. I have a problem with power, dressed as innocent.
I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was explaining the difference between white people and people who happen to be white. White people are the people who uphold the system. White people are the ones who smile in your face and act like the system doesn't exist, but you know, I'm white and you're black and we're friends, so I'm not racist. You know what I mean? Yet they vote against your interests, you being the black friend, you know what I mean, or the friend of color. People who happen to be white are people who see the system that keeps people that look like me, melanated people of any diaspora, in bondage, that sees that the same system that keeps me in bondage actually has white people and people who happen to be white in the same bondage. Okay, they get it, they see it, they call out injustice. They'll be there using their privilege to be like, no, this is what it is, and you're BS and you're lying. You know what I mean? Just to give clarity, there's a difference. My question to you:
I think the most dangerous type of white person is the white person who knows that Donald Trump is bad, who knows that people who support him are bad, and yet continues to align themselves with that type of person, who continues to place that person above anyone who speaks against that type of person in their life, and yet they continue to say, well, I know he's bad. I'm not like them, but I do keep them in my life. I do align myself with them. I just would never, I can't understand them, but I think that takes a special type of evil. It takes a special type of manipulation to understand the evils at play, to understand the type of person who would support that and to support that. That is white supremacy. That is the cult of white supremacy. I talked about this the other day, that white supremacy is a cult. If not all white people, most white people are born into the cult of white supremacy, and it does take some deconstruction to break out of it. Even the white people who do not support Donald Trump, who understand that he is a bad person, many of them are in the white supremacy cult. And many of them will place their standing in that cult above anything else, above people who try to fight it. They will exile people who try to fight it in order to keep their social standing. And I think that that is an exceptional type of evil, because the awareness that these people have and still choose existence in that cult, that is something that the cult of MAGA, the reddest hat wearing people, I don't think they have the awareness that these people do.
So mad at my country right now. Why did you think that this was the person that was going to make things better in this country? You can't hate into harmony. Why is everybody so scared of equality? Why is everybody so scared of people that look differently than them and that think differently than them and that live differently than them? Why in 2025 are people battling just for the right to exist in peace without people bothering them or trying to oppress them or hating them or harming them? Why can't we use our money and our resources and our time and our energy to build people up, to build up our neighborhoods, to invest into communities that are struggling? Like, why can't we finally put all of our energy and our resources into positively contributing to society and making the world that we live in a better place? Why can't we just fucking accept each other? Why are people still so susceptible to listening to just hatred, just pure hatefulness, and that being the thing that they're moved by? Why does that move you? Why doesn't love move you? Why doesn't kindness and generosity move you? It's like every single time there's a group of people fighting for their rights in this country, the whole world just explodes in fear and fear-mongering, and it works. And why can't we learn from our history? Why can't we recognize that the same thing seems to happen over and over again? Why are we stuck in a continuous loop of fear and oppression and fear and oppression and having to fight fear and oppression? Why can't people in power or with money, whatever, give it up? Just go live your lives. Pay attention to yourself. Enjoy all of the resources and privilege that you have and be in peace. Why are you so fucking angry? Why are you so controlling? Why are you so in everybody's business? There's absolutely no need. You are better equipped than anybody on the planet to go live your life in peace. So why don't you just do that? All of us are going to die someday. Everybody who's trying to hoard and accumulate all of this wealth and this power or whatever, this fake shit, you're not going to get to keep that. You're going to be gone someday, and who knows when that day is. So why are you chasing it to the point that you're willing to harm others to get it and to keep it? What is going on? Release that. Why can't we just take care of each other? Why is that so hard? Why is that so seemingly impossible for this world? Or I'll just speak for the US. Why is that so hard for us? It should be the most natural thing in the world to understand that if my neighbor is doing well, that's a good thing for me. I'm exhausted by every single headline that just goes against everything in my soul that I believe about life.
White people need to talk more about race with their family and community. I know that this sounds counterintuitive because your feed is probably filled with white people talking about race when it is obviously an issue that affects people of color, but the problem is that it's perpetuated in white families in ways that they do not realize. I am trying to call out the racism that is either explicit or implicit among white circles. People act racist a lot of the time behind closed doors, which is something that I, as a white person, see a lot. It doesn't matter if I'm in Chicago, if I'm in rural California, if I'm in rural places, generally speaking, white people are racist in the US. And sometimes in ways that they don't even realize. So my goal with my content is to see this, to report on it, to encourage white people to evaluate critically what that means. Although it might seem like I'm trying to take away voices of people of color, I'm not trying to speak on the effects of racism or anything like that. I'm trying to talk about how it's systemic and encourage other white people to evaluate their biases, because I understand this because of the environment I was raised in, which is very conservative.
For decades, people of color have been screaming into the void about racism, discrimination, violence, bloodshed, tears, literally begging the country to see what's right in front of them, right? And it always turned into, not all white people, stop complaining, just work harder, or America isn't racist. But now that the economy is crashing, the country is shaking, and everything feels like it's in a free fall, suddenly you have white folks saying, wait, maybe the system we built is actually the problem. Like, wow, right? The self-awareness finally loaded. And the truth is, racism is expensive. It costs lives, it costs opportunities, and guess what? It costs money, right? Because when you spend generations building power on discrimination instead of progress, eventually the bill is going to come due, right? And America is getting the invoice with no installment plan, right? People of color have always paid the highest price, the tears, the trauma, the generational setbacks. But now that things are crashing for everybody, suddenly the conversation is different, right? Suddenly people are saying, maybe we should have listened, right? Oh, now you want to reflect. Right now that the country is on fire, now they want to reflect. But even with all of this acknowledgement, some people still refuse to accept reality, right? They are watching everything fall apart, the economy, the politics, the communities. And instead of saying, yeah, this is the system we created, they're pointing fingers elsewhere, right? And it's like watching someone trip over their own shoelaces and blame gravity. And at the end of the day, America is dealing with the consequences of a system that was built on inequality. And when the foundation is cracked, the whole house eventually collapses. So maybe the people finally admitting it are doing the country a favor right now, right? Because you can't fix what you refuse to name. But anyway, that's just my take. Let me know what you think. Is this accountability, or is it a little too late? Right? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Credit goes to all original creators. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This comment is for commentary, educational, and discussion purposes only. Thank you so much for tapping in again when you saw this, and as usual, I'll see you on my next one.